Well, folks, here we go. We're going to do the last two games of the tournament instead of all four. We're going to have our third place game between Post 3 of Antigo, the Typhoon. They will be the home team, and they'll be going up against Post 210, who finished second in their pool despite being tied with two other teams at 1 and 2. They all beat each other, so the next tiebreaker was runs allowed, which is Waupun ended up having the least amount of runs allowed, so therefore they are playing for third place here in the 1 o'clock game. The championship will feature Viroqua and Kaukauna after this. So right now we'll pause as Scott Van Galen sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'll have to give him the business there, Steve. All right, that's your national anthem by our PA announcer, Scott Van Galen. He always does a good job. Kind of the running joke in here, though, is when he sings "free," how long he can hold it. And we're going to give him the business today. We're kind of disappointed, only 4.58 seconds. He's usually good for 5 or more. Yeah, Steve Winterhack, our radio announcer for AM 1170 here in the Waupun area in the Source. He said 7 seconds one time is what he witnessed as his best. So anyway, but we appreciate Scott, and it's nice that he's up here in the booth and we can rib each other a little bit and have a good time. So here we are, folks, at the Gus. 1 o'clock game, and it'll be for third place between Post 3 Antigo against Post 210 of Waupun. Once again, Waupun is the visiting team because whoever's been calling the coin toss hasn't been doing a very good job. I think this is the third game in a row Waupun's been visitor. But I don't think it's going to matter anyway. Right now, it's got to hope that the rain that is forecasted for 1 o'clock slows itself down or speeds itself up. But we looking at the forecast, and after about 2:30, it's nothing after that. So, but we're going to try to get this one in before the championship game between Viroqua and Kaukauna. But we'd like to, on this last day of the tournament, like to thank everybody involved that I believe made this tournament a success, despite Mother Nature trying to chime in and ruin it for us. So, like I say, I got Jeff Sauer to my left, who brought all his cables and cameras and equipment here to give you the live stream from 4 different angles. Also, Steve Winterhack, who's the radio voice who did Waupun and Waupun. And speaking of Steve, we'll turn it over to him.
We came out in strength to do it, and we've got the rosary on, and we've got the intro on. Now we're ready to play some ball, and right away, first pitch in from Neil Brettel, the pitcher for Antigo Post 3. Well, again, Waupun Post 10 taking on Antigo. All the Wisconsin teams in the top 4 out of the 8 teams were here. The Minnesota and North Dakota teams, those games canceled for this morning. They're all on their way back home. Like Valley City, North Dakota, they had 8.5-hour drive ahead of them. And Waupun, North Dakota, they had a 7.5-hour drive. A couple teams from Minnesota. 1-1 count. First batter up, Tyler Fromholtz hits the next one in foul territory. First baseman Logan Tomei gave chase and couldn't get to it. So we'll live to see another pitch. Count is now 1-2. Jaden White, number 2 in the batting order, followed by Braden Sanders. Noah Gerritsen batting cleanup. Cole Hicken, he's batting 5th, followed by Wyatt Paul, Evan Sauer, Austin Weiss, and number 9 batter is Trent Ferris. That's the batting order for post 210. Nice season that they had. And a nice tournament here. If it wasn't for the weather, the things would have been just perfect here. But no, they just had problems with the rain falling here throughout the weekend and this morning again, which really kind of chased everybody away. This is hit between short and third base out to left field for a base hit for Tyler Fromholtz to get Waupun going. So again, post 210, getting things going with an opening hit. Now we've seen leads from them before, and that was a disappointing day yesterday. I don't know if you want to relive that at all. Two things that happened to them with LeSueur Hamilton giving up a 4-run lead going into the top of the 7th, and then, Henderson. LeSueur Henderson out of Minnesota, but they got 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning and went to the 8th inning, and they got another run there, and Waupun lost 5-4. And the real disappointing game, they still had a chance to be in the championship game, took on Kaukauna yesterday, and they had a 4-1 lead going into the bottom of the 6th inning, and a great job by Braden Sanders up till that point, but he kind of ran out of gas. Here's a roller over towards shortstop, picked up by Fleischman. Orgeman, the second baseman there, fires to first and gets the double play. So 2 down, 6th inning, and a great job by Braden Sanders up till that point, but he kind of ran out of gas. Here's a roller over towards shortstop, picked up by Fleischman. Orgeman, the second baseman there, fires to first. Post 210. So the 6-4-3 double play puts 2 outs on the board, and Braden Sanders coming up to bat. Luke Pecor is behind home plate for Antigo, post 3. Swing and a miss by Braden on the first pitch in from Brettel to him. Logan Tomei over at first base. Elliot Orgeman is the second baseman. Eli Fleischman at shortstop, and Connor Coles, he is their third baseman. Next pitch, again, takes a little off that one, and gets Braden getting a little bit of his own medicine with some of those breaking pitches like that knows what those guys go through, and they try to hit his breaking ball. Left to right in their outfield, Dakota Matuszewski, Austin Schettelbauer, and Mason Gray in the Antigo outfield. It's the 0-2 pitch, and this is hit. And jumping up and grabbing it is the shortstop, Eli Fleischman. Left to right in their outfield, Dakota Matuszewski, Austin Schettelbauer, and Mason Gray in the Antigo outfield. It's the 0-2 pitch, and this is hit. And jumping up and grabbing it is the shortstop, Eli Fleischman, on the source.
All right, folks, glad that you're tuning in. I already got 16 people on the Facebook, and I don't know how to get on the YouTube, but 19. So once again, I know your people are more local, state of Wisconsin, and some people are here live, but tell us where you're cheering from, and hopefully the kids then can see it later on. And as Steve was saying, it was definitely not a Sunday fun day for the post 210 yesterday as they went 0-2, and obviously this morning for the tournament directors and everything, it was definitely the Bengals song, the 1980s Manic Monday. So, but we're going to get these 2 games in, and don't know when everything's going to be done. But like I say, once again, appreciation to all the people who helped volunteer to make this tournament a success. I know South Dakota was supposed to host, and then around February, March, Derek Stanky, head coach, sent out an email and saying, hey, we got a chance to host. What does everybody think? And here we go. And like a lot of people say, a good program is due to the fact of all the people in the background and so forth. And so that's why you think about when actors win awards, they say they like to thank all the little people. Well, we aren't little people, but we'll bring it back to Steve Winterhank on AM 1170 and The Source to call the bottom of the first for Antigo's post 3 Typhoon.
Welcome back again to the Gus and Waupun. This is the third place game. Waupun taking on Antigo. Antigo, a pretty nice team. They were 2-1 in Pool B. Of course, Viroqua beating everybody. They were 3-0. They play in the championship, coming up against Kaukauna right after this ball game today, as long as the weather holds off. All that rain that we have. I think tomorrow's supposed to be a really bad day again for rain. So I know we're getting about right to our breaking point with the water table that we have. And So the basement's getting a little water in it over the weekend, but hopefully we'll get our games in and won't get as much rain as they expect. Just keep on moving on through our summer. Austin Schettelbauer up first. Noah Garrettson on the mound for Waupun. Evan Sauer behind home plate. Cole Hicken, the first baseman. Austin Weiss at second. Braden Sanders over at shortstop. And Tyler Fromholtz, the third baseman. Trent Ferris had a couple nice catches yesterday. A solid left fielder. Jaden White in center field, and Wyatt Paul is the right fielder. Next pitch, a called strike into Schettelbauer. And he's their center fielder. Elliot Orgeman awaiting on deck. Neil Brettel is in the hole. This is hit out towards right field. Giving chase is Wyatt Paul, and just ranges off to his left and hauls it in for the out. Nice job getting it to Schettelbauer. And he's their center fielder. Elliot Orgeman awaiting on deck. Neil Brettel is in the hole. This is hit out towards right field. Giving chase is Wyatt Paul, and just teammate Schettelbauer as he's getting back to the dugout after flying out. First pitch into him is a called strike. Now, these are some new officials here, too, today. I saw a bunch of them I hadn't seen before today.
These are guys that are recognized from the Little League days, to tell you the truth. Just wait.
Here's the ball hit out towards right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit for Orgeman. Rounds first base. Ball tossed back in, so a runner at first with one down.
The guy that's humping over on first base is a guy named Rob Rule. He's the one that actually was influential in getting Jose Matamoros, one of our local people, into umpiring. And right now Jose's humping at the AAA level, but that's Rob Rule at first base.
Rob Rule? Okay.
Rob Rule.
Rob Rule, okay. I know I said hi to you this morning when we were at the coaches' meeting, started to find out what's going to go on, and that's when they decided that all the out-of-state teams were just going to hop on the bus and head home. Big swing and a miss by Neil Brettel in the first pitch in. Puts the count at 0-1. Yeah, Randy Armgard did a great job of securing all these officials. He kind of observed some of these guys and got to know them and earned Randy's respect, and he wanted to get the best he could find. And this is just poked out towards right field. The third ball hit out that way. That's a base hit. Lead runner Orgeman heading to third base, and back-to-back singles for post 3 out of Antigo. Orgeman all the way over to third base. Eli Fleischman, the cleanup batter, coming up to bat. Now looking at Antigo's trip through the tournament on the first day, Antigo knocked off Waupun by a score of 8-5. Then lost to Viroqua by a score of 6-1. And taking care of business against La Crescent 16-5 yesterday. So pretty solid performance. He can put some runs on the board. Got a few guys that can hit with power on the team. Next pitch misses, makes the count 1-1. It's going to be a little low, maybe a little inside on his next pitch. No, a pretty quick worker. Doesn't take his time out there. Just wants to get the next pitch in. This is chopped over past Fromholtz at third base out to left field. That's going to score a run, and Antigo just like that, leading 1-0. So 3 base hits in a row. 1 run comes in. Runners now at first and second base, and only 1 down. And Connor Coles, their third baseman, steps to the plate. Courtesy runner coming in for Antigo, and Dane Cornelius coming in to run the bases now for post 3. Yeah, just 1 down. Runners at first and second, and 1 run in. 1-0 in favor of Antigo here in the bottom of the first inning on your new medical integrated healthcare scoreboard. Coles shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and a called strike 1. Next pitch from Garrettson. Misses outside, bit high. 1-1 the count now to Connor Coles. This is again hit over towards right field, and ranging off to his right now is Wyatt Paul. Hauls it in. Runners stay where they're at. So we'll fly out again out to right field, and that'll put 2 outs on the board, and Mason Gray coming up to bat. Now Mason, first glance at him, was a Reese Holman lookalike out there. Reese, tall guy with long, nice flowing hair out of his helmet. Saw him crank a home run earlier in the tournament too, so powerful hitter. He was in the home run derby. Pitch into him. Scoots out of the way for ball one. Fastball is going to miss maybe just a bit low. Puts the count at 2-0. And one run in. Runners at first and second. Next ball is swung on and fouled back and out of play. It's now a 2-1 count. Don't forget, if you're buying or selling a home, stop over right on Main Street in Waupun at House to Home Properties. Scott and Eunice and the crew over there will handle all of your house buying and selling needs. Make it a great experience for you. One of your biggest investments you're ever going to have in your life. And they know how to navigate all the paperwork and everything else that goes with it. And make sure you get the best price for your house, or get the house that you're buying for a good price. Next pitch, that misses for ball four. So first walk by Noah Garrettson, walking Mason Gray, and loading up the bases now for Antigo. Logan Tomei, the first baseman, coming up to bat. Again, House to Home Properties, right on Main Street in Waupun. Give them a call. Stop down at their office. And they're a big supporter of Post 210. A called strike on the first pitch into Tomei. The 0-1 pitch. He is going to miss low. Puts the count at 1-1. Yep, later on today, Viroqua taking on Kaukauna in the championship game of the Division II Central Plains Tournament. This ball hit high in the air, foul territory. And everybody goes back to where they at. All right, that ball was not brought. They were all kind of looking at each other. Not sure. I'd rather see a couple guys fight over the ball and a bunch of people looking at each other and letting the ball hit the ground. They're all kind of there, so. Okay. So 1-2 the count on Logan Tomei, the first baseman. Next pitch into him, a swing and a miss. And he goes down swinging for a strikeout, but not before. Antigo comes up with 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 run comes in, 3 runners stranded. And after 1 complete, it is Antigo leading Waupun 1-0. Be back at the top of the second right after this on The Source.
Yeah, a couple shout-outs here on the Facebook. Sherry Elam said, way to go, E. Probably talking about Elliot Ogerman, who reached on a single and scored. Michelle, Wendell Schaefer, and Napkavage. Hopefully I pronounced it murdered too well, Michelle, but she's yelling, go Antigo. And Don Strobel is also watching from Antigo and saying, go Typhoon. Also on the live stream on YouTube, we have Lynn Colts saying, good luck, Antigo, Typhoons. And the other umpire right behind the plate is Jason Kelly. So Jason Kelly and Rob Rule are 2 umpires that I've known for a while from back when I coached my 2 boys in Little League. Rob Rule, actually his father, pitched in the major leagues for like Detroit, Cincinnati, and a couple other teams. He's kind of like a journeyman pitcher. Jason Kelly was another one that was influential in convincing Jose Matamoros to umpire. He got him going in the Little League, and matter of fact, Rob Rule and Jose umped the 13, 14-year-olds 14U Little League championships over in Indianapolis. You're used to seeing the ones on TV that are the 12Us, but yeah. And Jackie Westra, let's go 210. Good luck, Noah and the team. So, great Aunt Jackie saying, good luck, Noah. Noah on the mound today, the big lefty. So, we'll turn this thing back over. Top of the second, 1-0 Antigo over Waupun.
And welcome back to the Gus. Steve Winterhack with you on 93.7 FM, AM 1170, and 103.3 FM. Coming up for Waupun here in the top of the second inning, number 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order, beginning with Noah Garrettson, then Cole Hicken, and Wyatt Paul. And on the mound for Antigo Post 3, Neil Brettel. Now, Antigo, I've got a little history with Antigo for all of you listeners out there and viewers of the game. Lived back there for a couple of years back in the 80s, working at the radio station, WRLO and WATK. Roger Utenamer was the owner of the company. Him and his wife at that time, Sugar, were the owners of the radio station. Lauren Harrelson was the morning guy. Gary Hartlewood, who I just had found out, very good friends with him, just lost touch with him in the last 10 years, but I heard he passed away a couple years ago, and I hated to hear that. He was our news guy then. I know Eileen's still around there. I've just got a hold of him. I just found out from some of the Antigo fans. They kind of filled me in on that. 3-1 the count now to Noah Garrettson, but we love living up there. If it was up to the wife, we never would have left Antigo. Next pitch is hit high in the air out towards center field. Austin Schettelbauer coming in and hauls it in for the out. Matter of fact, my oldest child, Christopher, was born at Langlade Memorial Hospital. And when he was born, we looked in the little room where they had little babies, and they had a little Antigo Red Robin blanket. In fact, all the kids, there were about 10 kids in there, they all had Antigo Red Robin blankets. Pretty big deal up there in the Antigo area. I'm sure their football team. And some very good baseball players out of Antigo, too. To make a drive up there, it's been some years since we've been through the Antigo area and see how much it changed. But we liked our time. We lived at 1122 West 5th Avenue. Remember that from that old reggae song? And so it was going. It was kind of popular back then when we were there in about 83, 84. But we used to always said, anybody asked where we lived, we said we lived at 1122 West 5th Avenue, right on the main drag of Antigo. 0-2 the count now on Cole Hicken as he fouled the last pitch off. And the next one fouls it off over on the first base side and out of play. Not as many people here, and umbrellas are out in the bleachers right now. Just got to kind of battle through it and power through the rain and get this game done and get into that championship game right after it. Next pitch well off the plate. Makes the count 1-2. Yeah, we also lived right across for a little while. I think the guy's name was like Marlin or Merlin Belot, possibly, right across from the fairgrounds. Lived there for a short while before I got a job down in Fond du Lac, but we definitely love the Antigo area. My wife is from Marathon, and I used to work at WIFC with Duff Damos. I believe is still up in the Northwoods somewhere. Just throwing a few names out there, and worked at Channel 7, which probably the people from Antigo watch that TV station once in a while up there. WSAW, Sir 7. Yeah, used to write commercials for him. I was even on a few embarrassing commercials that I don't like to relive. I was only about 19 or 20 at the time and had some hair, too. And I did one for Catherine Kay's Intimate Apparel. And I did a commercial for him, and I remember Bill Charts, who's at Channel 2. He was Bill Schmidt at the time. He was... and Mike Goucher, who's in Milwaukee now, they were all in the studio watching me film that, and it was special hours for the guys to go there and buy something for their girl for Christmas. It was right by a Christmas tree, and they put a girl on my lap, kind of laid right along my lap. You couldn't see her, but you could see just a close-up of my face, which was scary enough. And then she was reaching up with her hands, running them through my hair and my face as I was telling the guys, hey, we got these special hours at Catherine K. Intimate Apparel. So... Oh, yeah, that's one of the more embarrassing commercials I did back in the 80s at Channel 7. Cole Hicken has issued a walk, so Waupun with one down has a runner over at first base, and that'll bring up Wyatt Paul. They used to put me all these embarrassing little situations up there, but that was fun. I liked Wausau. I loved Antigo. There's one hit out towards center field. Schettelbauer just has to take a few steps over to his right and hauls it in for the out. So a couple of flyouts to center field, one walk, runner at first base. 1-0 game in favor of post 3 out of Antigo. Now coming up to bat, Evan Sauer, the catcher for Waupun. It's been a nice season for post 210. And a nice finish to the season for Antigo. They're more of a 500 team to the high school season and also in the Legion season. Just kind of a 500 team to the regular season. They're playing some good ball here at the Central Plains Tournament. I know they hosted the Double-A tournament up in Antigo, the one that Kaukauna won. Had to play Kaukauna twice. That's where they got their 2 losses against them. Still peaking at the right time, right at the end of the season when you get in the playoffs. 1-1 the count now to Sauer. That is drilled out towards center field, coming in the center fielder, and he kind of short hops it into his glove for a base hit for Evan Sauer. Nice job, playoffs. 1-1 the count now to Sauer. That is drilled out towards center field, coming in the center fielder, and he kind of short hops it into his glove for a base. Out first and second base for Waupun, and coming out to run now, Conrad Davis. So Evan Sauer can go get his catcher's gear on. A little good speed with Evan, or I should say Conrad out there. He's pretty quick around the base pass. Maybe just looking at him, you might not guess that, but no, he's got some pretty good speed. Runners at first and second, 2 down for Waupun, and Austin Weiss up to bat. Chopper over towards third base. That is a stop by the third baseman. All he can do is knock it down, and safe over at first is Austin Weiss. Austin Weiss up to bat. Chopper over towards third base. That is a stop by the third baseman. All he can do is knock it down, and now runners safe all around for post 210. We'll bring up Trent Ferris, the left fielder for Waupun. Big opportunity right now. See if Waupun can capitalize on that. Trailing 1-0 in the top of the second inning on your new medical integrated healthcare scoreboard. Next pitch misses low and away. 1-1 the count with bases loaded for post 210. Brettel with a pitch, a fastball. That's going to miss high. It's now a 2-1 count. It's a little hazy out there. Just trying to weather the storm. The ball is hit high in the air out towards right field. And the right fielder, Mason Gray, made it a little more interesting towards the end of that. Had to kind of reach down and haul it in, but he gets the out. Waupun comes up with a few base runners, 1 walk, 1 hit, 1 error, but they strand them out there. Nobody scores, and after 1.5 innings, Waupun trailing Antigo 1-0. Be back in just a bit with the bottom of inning number 2 on The Source.
A little shout out, Caleb Kautza. He's sitting in the third base dugout saying, "Go Antigo," and he's watching from there. Jackie Westra, of course, once again, good luck Noah and the team. And then over on the YouTube feed, we got Go Antigo, Cole and Gracie from the Mosquito Squad of North Central Wisconsin, and Shannon Marie. Crazy what a few miles does. It hasn't rained in Ripon since 9-ish. Hoping the rain stops for all the teams and the fans. Yeah, I agree with that. Rain, go away. And some cool stories here from Steve about his days in Antigo and so forth. So, needless to say, hopefully, I'm wondering if anybody on YouTube can find the 1983 commercial or something. I don't know. Nowadays, with the way social media is, who knows? But I just want to see Steve with hair. That's all. Anyway, back to Steve Winterhack as we go into the bottom of the second. Antigo leading 1-0.
I did find a picture of myself with hair. I'll have to bring that up to it. It's to do with baseball. First pitch into Luke Pecor is hit high in the air in the infield, and Tyler Fromholtz takes it over at third base for out number 1. Yeah, my story with hair is I always tease people like Reese Holman and Caden Bronkhorst. You got to get that hair just perfect under your hat out there. That long hair, you got to have it flowing. A lot of the hockey guys, that was always a big hockey thing, too, with your helmet. You had to have the long hair flowing out of there. Then I found a picture when I was 14 years old playing in the Senior League All-Star game, and I had long hair right down to my shoulders, and it was perfectly flowing out of the back of my hat. So, yes. So at least it's better to, I guess, have it at one time than never have had it at all. So 2-1 count now to Matuszewski, and the ball hit right over to first base. Picked up by Cole Hicken, and the out over there. Number 8 and 9 in the batting order retired. Back to the top of the order with Austin Schettelbauer. He flew out to right field his first at bat. First pitch into him misses for ball 1. Yeah, just one of those openings, I think, in the weather today. Next one was swung on and fouled back, but we're kind of looking at the weather. There's still umbrellas out. Everybody with their black and gold umbrellas over on the Waupun side. And the Antigo people, they get to be under the shelter over there. Swing and a miss on the next pitch in to Schettelbauer. Some off speed stuff from Garrettson. And I'm kind of leaning forward and awkwardly swinging at it. 1-2 pitch. Again, that one is fouled back. But the Antigo contingent has our concession stands along the third base side, and they've got the roof over there, so they're kind of sitting nice and dry underneath that without the umbrellas. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. But the Antigo contingent has our... So again, 2 down, nobody on, 1-2 count. Here's the pitch to Schettelbauer, and he pokes that out towards right center field. Nice job of hitting. Working the pitcher, and he's going to head over to second base as Waupun having trouble picking the ball up cleanly and getting it in, and very opportunistic. Got himself in scoring position now. Well, things are pretty soggy out there. I'm not going to, I guess, get on anybody out in the outfield. I saw that ball that went into the glove of the center fielder for Antigo with a Schettelbauer out there, and I saw it kind of short hop in his glove, but also kind of splash up with the water up there. So it's pretty soggy. Those guys don't have it easy like the guys in the infield with the artificial turf. Nice and dry in there. Yeah, we're going to be starting bringing you some soccer, boys soccer, also some football and some volleyball. That'll be coming up on the air in the next few weeks. Looking forward. We got a few pretty good volleyball teams around the area. I know Randolph has a really nice team in Division 5. If they don't make it to state, there's something wrong. That is a really nice team with a lot of height for a Division 5 school. 3 starters, and they're very athletic girls that are over 6 foot tall. A lot of them play in club volleyball, including one that plays in the Sting Gold team, which is the elite club out of Wisconsin, plays out of Milwaukee. And a strike on the last pitch in. Kind of surprised to see that was Elliot Orgeman, and he's going to go down looking. Slow, confused walk back to the dugout. 1 hit, a couple runners stranded out there, and nobody scores for Antigo after 2 complete. Antigo leading 1-0. Top of the third coming your way right after this on the Source. And we are back for the top of inning number 3. And coming up for post 210, Tyler Fromholtz, Jaden White, and Braden Sanders. Waupun can get things going with the top of the order. Their second look at Neil Brettel. Fromholtz, he got on with a single back in the first inning. He got caught up in that double play. No offer on the first one. Ball 1 into Fromholtz. Here's a fastball called strike, puts the count at 1-1. So 1-1 the count. Tyler Fromholtz trying to get something going. Only trailing 1-0. Could have been worse. Waupun did have bases loaded, though, in the last inning. It couldn't get anybody across the plate. Next pitch misses. 2-1 the count to Fromholtz. Fastball hit high in the air out towards center field. Austin Schettelbauer heads over to his left and hauls it in for the out. Get a lot of action out in center field. And now Jaden White will come up with one down, nobody on. Rich Osterhaus over at Finishing Touches by Rich, one of our sponsors. Go over there and visit Rich once in a while. He's unloading a truck right around now, some cabinets. He even asked me to come over and help him. I seem to have that there's a little back pain a little bit when it's time to unload the trucks. But now he's a good guy, and he has a lot of great stuff inside his store. Check it out. 0-1 pitch, bounces across the plate. Luxury vinyl tile, luxury vinyl plank. He's got over 100 styles and colors of luxury vinyl plank in his store. Really high quality stuff with a really thick wear layer. So those will hold up to all the abuse you'll give it in your house. And here's one shot right out to left field. Nice hard hit ball by Jaden White. Just waited on it and pulled it out to left field right between short and third base. So a runner at first now for Waupun with one down. And carpeting, Rich has got that in the store. You can also design your cabinets and your countertops. Got to be precise, otherwise you're going to eat a lot of money on that, and he is. He's really good and been doing it for quite a while. Finishing Touches by Rich, right on Main Street in Waupun. Braden Sanders up to bat now. Braden laid out to the shortstop. Had that nice hard hit, but good job by Fleischman over there to go up, jump up a little bit, and haul it in for the out and rob him with the hit. First pitch into Braden is ball one. Yeah, this is it, the end of the season here for Post 210. Nice place to do it in the Central Plains tournament. Going for third place in this tournament, and some good memories. Had a great season. Some pretty tough games. Got into the last day of the state tournament up in Denmark. Swept everybody over in Green Lake in the regionals. It's going to drop right through the strike zone. No offer from Braden. So a nice season. Nice experience for Braden and for Jaden. They both came back to play that extra year, being out of high school for a year, but young enough to play again. There'll be a lot of new players for Antigo, possibly. Yeah, it depends how young they might be, but 10 of their players just graduated from high school. Only got 3 players that are going to be coming back to high school this next year. Hard hit ball out towards center field, but right at Schettelbauer. Again, it's just kind of a magnet out there for balls. It's the second put out of the inning. Get a lot of action out there. And Noah Gerritsen, that's his fourth one. Yeah.
Kept Gable busy from Tacoma yesterday, so center field seems to be a magnet.
Yeah, he had to field that ball that he kind of on the base hit that he kind of short hopped into his glove. So he's making a lot of business out there. Runner at first base yet, and Noah Gerritsen up to bat with 2 down. Cole Hicken awaiting on deck. You have our Antigo viewers out there, remember, but probably not me. I was only there a couple of years, and I was Steve Winters back then. Didn't want to go with the Winter hack, and didn't put that back on my name like my real name, just until I came back to Waupun. I thought it's kind of crazy to use that radio name, Steve Winters, but I'm coming back to my hometown, so. And like I said before, I would like to change my name to Steve McCool, legally. Steve McCool. It was that McCool that was he on the Sir Henderson team? Or was he on La Crescent? High fly ball out towards right field. Mason Gray gets underneath it, and second time in the ball game, gets the last out of the inning, out in right field. So Waupun comes up empty again. Did get a base runner, but stranded the base runner at first base. Nobody scores, and after 2.5 innings, Antigo leading Waupun by a score of 1-0. Back after this on The Source.
Or what you can do, Steve, is when you change your name, it can be Steve Winters McCool. So there you go. Oh, it fits up here in Wisconsin, Winter McCool. All right, but a couple shout-outs here. Living the Dream Guide service is watching. Obviously, if you're into hunting and fishing, check them out. So there's a little free shout-out there. Jackie Westra would like to thank Steve, also Jeff Sauer. I'm not going to get anything. It says thanks Jeff, and Steve for all the work making this live broadcast happen. So thanks, and we appreciate that, Jackie. Big fan. Shania Heese says let's go Typhoons, and so did Westland Abel says let's go Connor Colts. So got some favorite players on teams and so forth, so keep on cheering. This is, their last game of the season, so, let's close it out in style, and whomever wins, loses, whatever, the kids are probably going to go back to this, and courtesy of Jeff Sauer's live streams, and look at this, we hope, and see your comments. Back to Steve. Winters McCool.
We are back, yeah. Winters McCool. We got some of our let's see if anybody will answer that. But if you do know what happened to some of these people I used to work with in Antigo, see if they're still around the area. I know that Lauren, if I remember them, this is hit out towards right field and giving chase, and it's going to fall in front of Wyatt Paul. Just a one-pitch poke out towards right field and a base hit for Neil Brettel. Nice job of hitting, just reaching out and poking it out to right field. Eli Fleischman stepping to the plate now. He had a single, RBI single back in the first inning. Jeff Wagner, I worked with him. Everybody remembers him. He was our sales manager. Actually, back in the day was when I was there. He's still in the Antigo area. So you said Lauren Haraldson was the morning guy. We had a blind announcer at night, Dennis Nelson. He had a seeing eye dog, but he just a great guy to work with. Loved radio, and he always would charge my batteries when I felt a little down. He was a great co-worker. It's our overnight guy over at WRLO ATK. Can't remember some of the other ones I worked with there, but that was some good days over there. Right on Highway 45 before you get into Antigo, just south of the town. Next pitch into Fleischman. That misses. Count is now 1-0 to Eli. Connor Coles awaiting on deck. Next pitch down below the knees. Little low, makes the count 2-0. And the ball hits out to center field. Going back is Jaden White and pulls it in for the out. So one down, runner at first base. And the winner will be the third place team in the Division II Central Plains American Legion Tournament. And as long as the weather is permitting, we will have the championship game. Jeff and Jeff will be there streaming that for you. I'll be gone as Viroqua takes on Kaukauna. Been gone a lot lately, and the wife's starting to point out a few things that need to be done around the house. Yeah, keeping an eye on the basement, make sure that we get no flooding coming up. And it sounds like the weather tomorrow. I'm not sure what it's like up in Antigo right now, but down here, 5.5 inches of rain that we got on Saturday night. Really flooded things out. They even had a car that was kind of floating out in the intersection just down from the baseball diamond here, and it's a lot of rain in a short period of time. Soggy everywhere. Everything just feels damp right now. 2-1 the count to Connor Coles. Next pitch catches the outside part of the plate. You've had some of his fans that have been contacting you too for Connor, haven't you? Connor Coles, yeah. Check over to first. Here's the pitch. That is inside.
Sherry Elam says no rain in Antigo.
No, must be all new. Everybody just knew people that. Of course, we're talking. How many years ago was that when I was there? 40 years ago. So, and they do have the runner caught off the base. Throw over to second base and out. Nice little throw over to first, and buddy just knew people that. Of course, we're talking. How many years ago was that when I was there? 40 years ago. So, and they do have the runner caught off the base. Throw over to second base and out. 2 outs now for Antigo. The next one is fouled off the bat of Colts. 3-2 count. With 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 lead for Antigo. Hard hit ball, one hopper right in the glove of Braden Sanders. Fires across the field, and that's going to get past Cole Hicken. Yeah, it looks like Coles is going to stay right where he's at. But just came up a little short, and Cole thought he's going to maybe short hop it into his glove, but it got past him. The runner does stay over at first base. Again, another base runner for Antigo, and the big fella, Mason Gray, steps to the plate. Gonna check into Wiz Sports, see if Mason was a basketball player. Good-sized kid. Doesn't have the heights on here, but tall kid at the plate. Was a home run derby. Strong kid. Of course, in Antigo, you can be playing in the winter hockey. The hockey team up there in that direction. Next ball misses. Makes the count now 1-1 to Mason. Logan Tomei, the first baseman, awaiting on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Garrettson. That one catches the outside part of the plate for a called strike. Count is now 1-2. And runner at first base. Here's the pitch home, and a little bouncer up the middle and picked up by Sanders. Flicks it over to second, and off the mark as didn't lead Austin Weiss into that. Kind of threw it back where he was when he threw it to him, and all runners are safe. Runners now at first and second base. A couple throwing errors by Braden Sanders. Like I said, Austin Weiss was on his run on the run. He kind of had to lead him a little bit, and he just threw it like right behind him. And Derek Stanke is going to take the walk out to the mound right now and talk to his infield.
While the talk's going on, just some shout-outs. Lana Gray saying go Mason, so obviously Mason Gray, hence the same last name. Thanks, Sherry, for the weather report from, and then Sherry Witkowski Schober, good luck, Waupun. And Wesleyan Abel, right again, once again, yes, Connor. So Connor has flown out to right, reached on the air, and then obviously reached second on the air. So, no, it's just sitting back and enjoying, like say, Antigo, if you're one of those people that remembers Steve Winters from 35 to 40 years ago up there in the land of Antigo. And if you got any stories, chime in.
We are
It'd
back
be good to know.
Again at the Gus in Waupun, and that'd be interesting. I was over in Wausau for a while too at WIFC, which is a 100,000-watt rock station. It was pretty cool to do when you're 19 years old, and that's how I met my wife, by the way, calling me up on the request line. I called and asked for Journey's Open Arms, and I said, no, I just played it last hour, can't do it. This is a big-time station, can't do that. But I didn't play it. She kept on calling back, and that should have been a warning sign, her persistence of calling me back so many times, and really captured her personality. But got to meet her eventually, and been married for going on 38 years and 3 kids now from the girl I met up there working at WIFC in Wausau. Was the 10 at night till 2 o'clock in the morning guy. Played the Midnight Tracker. We always played a new album. We did that with right at midnight. Duff Damos was our morning guy at that time. Terry Tushka, he was working there then. Terry T. Dave Apple. So probably some names some of the older people might remember from back in the 80s. 0-2 count now to Tomei. Count is now 1-2. Somebody called, wanted to hear Open Arms from Journey. She is persistent. Known her for 40 years, married for almost 38. No, it wasn't, but I did actually play the song for her like 20 years later, just kind of as an afterthought, and I played it for her one day. Ball hit high in the air in the infield, and Cole Hicken camping out underneath it. Almost trips to get the ball, but hauls it in, and nobody scores from Antigo. Stays at 1-0 after 3 complete, and I'll be back with the top half of inning number 4 right after this on The Source.
Shout out from Greg Westra right now. He says, "Thank you so much for this broadcast. Makes it possible to listen to the game all the way through." He says he's out driving truck today, so thanks, Greg, for tuning in. And I was just curious, when you're driving truck in this weather, is it any different than actual person when you're driving and so forth? But he's listening on the. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he's got one of those dash cams or. So awesome, and then So I don't know if he's got his phone propped or something or whatever. So Greg, give us a little insight. We don't want to get you in trouble, but thanks for the kind words. So, but then the thing is what we should do is flood the radio stations and just say, hey, can you play Journey's Open Arms? So anyway, it's the top of the fourth inning. Waupun down 1-0 in this pitcher's duel between Garrettson
and we are
Brettel.
back again,
So
heading
back
to
the
the
Sputtery
top
Smooth
half of
Boys.
inning
Steve
number 4.
Winterhag.
And coming up for American Legion Post 210, number 5, 6, and 7 of the batting order, Cole Hicken, Wyatt Paul, and Evan Sauer. 1-0 lead for Antigo on your new medical integrated healthcare scoreboard.
He says he's got his phone plugged in.
So he kind of cordoned off now from people using that.
Right. Used to have the 50 fighter.
Yeah, people circle the car. My mom and dad are out there.
Yeah.
Cole Hicken, first pitch into him. Line drive, but foul over on the third base side. Yeah, it's baseball. You got to have some fun. Just a game out there and have some fun with it. Hope the kids will look back and say that was a fun time of their life when they played on Legion baseball. This one's going to miss just a little high on the breaking pitch from Neil Brettel. Count is now 1-1 to Cole. He had a walk and got all the way over to third base back in the second inning, but did not score. It'd be nice to finish the season for a win. I'm sure this definitely means something to both teams out there and finish on a high note. About a 2.5 hour drive getting up to Antigo. Just to make that drive quite a bit high in the air. It's going back is Matuszewski, and he'll haul it in. Made it look nice and easy out there. His first fly ball out to him, so just want to make sure that Dakota was in the game out there. So tested him, and he was up to the task. Wyatt Paul coming up. He flew out to center field, as almost half the Waupun team has done so far in the game. So he's going to try to bunt his way on. It's a long way over there. Not a bad bunt, and it's going to be a close play and safe at first base. Nice job by Wyatt. Kind of caught Antigo sleeping just a little bit and put a perfect bunt, not quite halfway up that third base line. Neil Brettel got off the mound and went and fielded it and threw it to first. Good job by Wyatt. I think Wyatt's gained some speed over the last couple seasons, too. He's a little kind of slower when he was a sophomore, but he's must have worked on that. He looked pretty fast on the football field when he did some wide receiver duties out there this past high school season. Had himself a nice senior year. Bring up Evan Sauer. He had that single. Got stranded at second base back in the second inning. To bring you the game from the Waupun Equipment Company broadcast booth, which is actually a broadcast booth, not a resin table, sitting behind the backstop. We're sitting in the top bleachers somewhere, so we actually in a real broadcast booth when you do games in Waupun, at the softball diamonds, at the baseball field. A nice, real nice place to call the games from. Next pitch into Sauer, a called strike. Do give the girls a little edge on it because they do have carpeting upstairs in the booth that's above the concession stand. They also have it's drywalled up there. They have a heater. They have air conditioning, and you can actually live there. So, yeah, studio apartment. Said if I anger the wife, that's where I could go. They even had to run downstairs the spiral staircase they have there and get some nachos if I wanted. In the middle of the night, they got all the food you want, and drinks, and they got a nice setup in both places. Definitely get spoiled here in Waupun. When you call a game over at Waupun High School too, the best vantage point to call volleyball or basketball games. You're looking right over on top of the court. No bleachers in front of you. Next pitch is fouled. Out of play over on the first base side. That is the best place to call. All those great games they got to call from up there, looking right over the top of the court. No bleachers, just Jeff Taves right below me doing the PA announcing and the scorer's table. And right after that, it's the court. You're looking right over the top of it. Some great facilities here in the city of Waupun. 1-2 the count now on Evan Sauer. Waits on that one, but he's going to hit it high in the air. Guess who? Who's going to catch it? Austin Schettelbauer, the center fielder. 2 outs now for Waupun, and Austin Weiss will be coming to the plate now.
Second baseman, Tyler's brother, Austin Weiss.
He's shaking his head as he goes to the.
I wrote Tyler down before. I was writing the names down because he got the license, and I wrote Tyler, so I introduced him as Tyler.
A throw to first base, and not in time. Just getting back in time is Wyatt Paul. Waupun did have an opportunity back in the second inning when they loaded up the bases, but couldn't get a run in. Low scoring, but quick moving game, which is key when you're trying to beat the rain. And we got a balk called on the pitcher, Neil Brettel. That'll put Wyatt over at second base. Well, Waupun's just looking for a nice gap hit. The base hump's going to explain it now to Neil. And that runner at second base, Waupun with an opportunity. It's 2 down, but pretty good hitter with Austin Weiss up to bat. And Trent Ferris awaiting on deck. This pitch, a fastball, is going to miss high. Yeah, well, we got some volleyball. Like I said, Randolph volleyball and football. We'll be doing a few of those. We'll cover Waupun, of course, volleyball and football. Get over to Oakfield once in a while. We've got a pretty good 8-man football team there. That's a interesting game to call. I did one game that was 63-36 in the ball game. So a lot of scoring in that 8-man football. You play on a 100-yard field, but they narrow the field down a little bit, but you still get guys that are running all over the place like you're in your backyard or something, and they just keep on running around, find a way to get up the field, and seen a lot of touchdowns that way. So if you like scoring, watch 8-man football. 3-0 pitch, and it's going to miss off the plate outside, and 4 straight balls issued to Austin Weiss. So number 9 in the batting order, Trent Ferris coming up. And coach coming out for Antigo right now and have a little conversation. We'll take just a short little break here.
The discussion's going on. I'm looking on this thing here, and I don't know if this is somebody from Antigo, but it just says Scott Johnson on here. So I don't know if you know Scott Johnson back in the day. I don't know.
Just a quick little conference out there, and Trent Ferris up to bat, swings on the next pitch into him and fouls it back. Interesting, quick little meeting out there, and he just went out there and the coach shook everybody's hands. I'm not sure if he had to go someplace. No, he's back in the dugout, but just shook their hands and headed back in the dugout. Comes the 0-1 pitch from Brettel. It's going to miss off the plate, puts the count at 1-1. Yeah, Randy and I will have our Friday nights filled up with football. Bring some of the area teams. Waupun on a winning streak right now, winning their last game, knocking off North Fond du Lac. So they're coming in with that high of winning that game. 1-2 the count now for Trent Ferris. And it's right back to the pitcher. Brettel takes it on one hop, runs about halfway over to first base and flicks it over there just before the runner gets there. Waupun comes up empty again. Had a couple runners on, just one base hit, one walk. Nobody scores, and after 3.5 innings, it is Waupun trailing Antigo 1-0. Back with Antigo's half of inning number 4 right after this on the Source.
Real quick before maybe Jeff runs some commercials or something, but I remember Greg Westra, he just says he's got his phone plugged into Bluetooth listening on the radio, so we didn't want to get Greg in trouble at all because we know with the trucking industry, they're a little bit tight now on that. Light Body Health says, come on, Junior, keep dealing, so probably talking about Neil Brettel and his knuckleball, and Queen Jenna, yay Connor, and Wesleyan Abel, also with for Connor Colts and so forth. So, all right. Back to the advertising. We got to get them out. We appreciate your patronage and supporting Legion Baseball.
After that, but it's been a long season, especially with like guys that were still in high school yet. That played high school ball, and like just a few days later, you're already playing Legion ball. It goes right into another. This is hit high in the air, foul territory. Cole Hicken heads over there and hauls it in for the out on Luke Pecor. That'll bring up Dakota Matuszewski. He's number 9 in the batting order. And top of the order, waiting on deck. Yeah, I don't know how these young men do it, but that is, if you just really love baseball, you're just going right from one season to another. And pretty much your whole summer is dedicated, especially if you go into the Central Plains tournament. You're playing all the way through, like we're doing right now, a few weeks into August.
Plus you threw in the fall sports being moved to spring.
Yeah, that's right. You might have some guys that were playing some football, spring football for Waupun because they didn't play fall football. And I'm not sure what they did up in Antigo for their football season, if they got it in the fall or if they played it in the spring, but might as well have some fun while you're in high school. Those years will be behind you before you know it, and you won't have anybody coming to watch you play, in some of the softball leagues and things that you'll do after that. And some bags tournaments, things like that. This is your best chance to really be in front of a crowd. You have some people cheering for you and some community support, and the kids don't throw that away when you look at your sports when you get into high school. Make sure you get out there. These are your last really glory years you're going to have, unless you go off and play in college somewhere. Lucky enough to be a professional athlete. But it's a special time, some great opportunities that you get when playing high school sports. So we'll walk issue to Matuszewski. He's at first base with one down. Top of the order, Austin Schettelbauer coming up. He's flown out so far, had a single, got stranded over at second base back in the second inning. 1-0 the lead for Antigo here in the bottom of the fourth inning on your new medical integrated healthcare scoreboard. And a bunt up the first base line, but that's going to roll foul off the bat of Schettelbauer. He's trying to find some other way that they can get another run across the plate, get a little room between them and Waupun. Actually kind of getting a little bright out there right now. Just one umbrella up, and they've got the canopy for our radio friends from over in the Viroqua area. Throw to first. Not in time. Is that Gary and Pete? Is that their name? The two guys from Viroqua, the announcers?
I don't remember the names. That sounds right.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
Gary and Pete. Those guys have been doing these games for a long time. I know one of them said he started doing it back in 1963. It was the first time he did any sports or any radio. He's also the administrator of a assisted living type place for a lot of years, too. So a little yell from the umpire over toward the Antigo bench. Get a little vocal out there.
Kelly used to ump in the minor leagues for a while. That's the second time he's over there. What's that? That's the second time he's over
He's yelled a couple times over towards the Antigo bench on things being said over there, so I'm not sure what they're saying. Don't get to hear that way up here. Runner safe, diving back over to first after that throw over there by Garrettson. Oh, to the count to Austin Schettelbauer. Kind of reaches out for the next one and fouls it back to stay alive to see another pitch. Didn't like that one, but thought, let's foul this one back. We'll see something better than that. Yep, sun is shining right now, a little bit peeking through. Ball hit high in the air out towards left center field. Going back is Trent Ferris. Right in front of the scoreboard, hauls it in for the out. Runner tags and going over to second base. Dives in. Face first up there, a little wet probably. He is Matuszewski. So 2 down, and that will bring up Elliot Orgeman. He singled and ended up scoring the only run of the ball game back in the first inning. Also went down looking. That confusing strikeout, at least confusing to him when he was up. This pitch is going to miss high and tight. Yeah, remember that when he struck out before, he kind of got out of the way of the ball and then was waiting for the next pitch, and no, that was strike 3, the umpire said. So took that long, confusing walk back to the dugout. Next pitch misses, makes it count 2-0 to Orgeman. That runner at second base. And this hops past Garrettson, picked up by Austin Weiss. The thrower to first is not in time, and then it's going to get past Cole Hicken, and that's going to bring a run in. So, again, just the main thing was to stop the ball over there. Maybe just forget getting the out that they wouldn't have got anyway over there, and then the ball gets past Cole Hicken back to the side fence, and a run comes in. Antigo now leads 2-0. Now the pitcher, Neil Brettel, coming to the plate. Right-handed hitter watches a fastball miss high for ball 1. Neil's got a couple of hits, bats in that number 3 slot. Single in the first inning, a single in the third inning. Next pitch is going to miss low, puts the count now at 2-0. Again, the winner is the third place team out of the 8 teams that came to Waupun for the Central Plains tournament. Hope everybody has some safe travels back to where they came from with the Minnesota and North Dakota teams. Valley City, North Dakota. LeSueur, Henderson, Minnesota. Waupun was also here out of North Dakota. And La Crescent, Minnesota here. And they kind of agreed this morning, saying they would have been playing in the 3rd place and 4th place games, and all the bad weather we have around here decided, it's probably a good idea. We're just going to hop on the buses and head home. Long drives ahead of them. Valley City, 8.5 hours, 7.5 hours over to Waupun. Brettel swings on the next one and fouls it back. So maybe not a bad choice. Who knows what kind of delays. Umpire brings it. Personal delivery right out to the mound. Yeah, that's what they do when the catcher takes the ball off their body. They kind of take their time, maybe brush the plate off a little bit. And the understanding they have between catcher and home plate umpire. The umpire gets hit, and then the catcher will go up, maybe talk to, maybe see if he's all right, and then the umpire's all right, and then maybe go out and talk to his pitcher just to kind of a little time to recover from that. 3-2 the count now to Brettel. Next pitch, that one is a wild one, gets all the way back to the backstop, and runners now at first and second base. We had to go making things happen with 2 down in this inning, and got a run across the plate to make the score 2-0. And Eli Fleischman will be coming up to bat. The umpire holding things up, and we've got a courtesy runner coming in right now, and back out to run again is Dane Cornelius. And Brettel will hit back and get himself ready for the top of the 5th inning. And a hard hit ball out to left center field. That's going to get picked up by Ferris, but Antigo is going to score a run. and now make this a 3-0 game. Nice job by Fleischman. Like the first pitch he saw, took it out to left field. An RBI single for Eli Fleischman.
Third baseman Connor Coles. Grand.
So runners at first and second base, another run in. Now 3-0 Antigo on your new medical integrated healthcare scoreboard. Connor Coles coming up. He's flown out. He also got on with an error by Braden Sanders over at shortstop. 2 runs in and only 1 base hit. A couple walks, a few errors out there. And a called strike on the inside part of the plate. Connor Coles not quite agreeing with that. That was now 2-1 to Connor. Mason Gray awaiting on deck. Yeah, probably the one of those senior teams that we've seen out here with Antigo. 10 players from the class of 21. One from the class of 20. Next pitch is going to miss inside and issued a walk. It's Connor Coles. Third walk of the ball game issued by Noah Garrettson. That'll load up the bases and bring up Mason Gray. He's a guy that can change things in a hurry. He had a home run earlier in the tournament. Swings on the first pitch in and fouls it out of play over on the right field side. Mason has walked and also got on with an error. Pitch into him, a delayed call and a called strike. Puts him down to the count 0-2. Mason, the 8th batter of the inning for Antigo post 3. Here's a bouncer over towards Braden Sanders at short. He goes to second base, and they're going to call the runner out over at second. So not before the damage is done. 2 runs come in for Antigo, and now after 4 complete, they lead this game by a score of 3-0. So Waupun, see what they can do here in the top of the 5th inning. Coming your way right after this on the Source.
All right, like I say, it's 3-0. Garrettson's at just, I think, at 90 pitches. No, 89 pitches right now. We'll see how things are rolling. But like I say, appreciate everybody hopping on and so forth. We have a pitching change. Brettel is out, and coming in for the save will be number 17 from Antigo, and that's Eli Fleischman, who has got 2 hits and 2 RBIs today. So Brettel ends up pitching 4 innings, and he's on the slate for the W right now. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody out there that helped make this a success and so forth. I look back at 2013, I believe it was, when everybody from Waupun traveled down to Pratt, Kansas, and they got probably about the same amount of rain, and we ended up having the games pushed, and kind of the same thing as today with some games, like that weren't associated with the championship being canceled. So Sheena Heiss, once again, let's go Eli. And so she obviously sees that Big E is on the mound, so she's getting, she's happy. Then some Connor Coles fans out there, his favorite player from Jake and Heenis. So we'll bring her back to Steve Winterhack on the Source.
4, and now trail in this game by a score of 3-0. New pitcher now for Antigo post 3. Eli Fleischman is on the mound. See, Elliot Orgeman has moved from second base over to shortstop for post 3. Didn't see who their second baseman is right now, but coming up for Waupun, top of the order. It's the 3rd time in the ball game that they've had the top of the order to start an inning. Eli Fleischman, a tall right-handed pitcher. Ball hit high in the air out towards right center field, and Austin Shuttlebauer brings it in for the out. If that is him out there anymore. Yes, it is. Austin's still out there. I'm sure all the changes And now Jaden White coming up to bat. Jaden had himself a single. Never got any further than first base after that back in the third inning. Strike on the first pitch into Jaden. Yeah, don't forget, if you want to watch the game, listen to my broadcast of the game for this game. It's on Facebook. Jeff Sauer here with his pretty elaborate setup. He has 4 cameras. Here's a chopper over toward shortstop. Orgeman picks it up, fires to first. A little high, but the first baseman Tomei goes up and hauls it in for the out. So 2 up and 2 down. Yeah, go to face setup. He has 4 cameras. Here's a chopper over toward shortstop. Orgeman picks it up, fires to first. When Kakana. But on Facebook, it's Waupun Baseball Video Live Stream. And on YouTube, it's Jeff's with an apostrophe, Jeff's Live Streams. Jeff's Live Streams. We'll get you there on YouTube. We've been here all weekend long. Got 4 cameras set up, different views from out by left center field, and the dugouts each have a camera. And one right here in the press box. Braden Sanders up with 2 down, nobody on. Waupun trailing now 3-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. Shout out to Scott Ellsworth, Warehouse to Own Properties, along with Eunice and Don and Amy and Gail. I think I get everybody's name from over at House to Home Properties. And a called strike into Braden, and not quite agreeing with that as he spins out of the box. Count is now 2-2. Buying or selling a home, that's who you contact. The professionals at House to Home Properties. And he gets mad enough where he spanks one out to left field right between short and third base to get himself a base hit. First base hit of the ball game. Braden playing in his last game as a Waupun player, along with Jaden. Came back, and it's a lot to do to commit. Some kids want to just go out and make some money, and Jaden's out there helping, I know, with Torres Tree Service, one of our sponsors, and I know he goes out there and helps Eli out there with his tree business. So he's out there making money. He understands that after being out of the high school for a year, you got to go and make money somehow. If you want to go have some fun, still have to make some money. Swing and a miss by Garrettson on the first pitch in from Fleischman. Makes the count 0-1. Yeah, hard hit ball out towards center field. Going back is Schettelbauer, and he hauls it in for the out. He gets 2 putouts in the inning. And Waupun goes down quietly. Only 1 base hit. Nobody scores. And after 4.5 innings, Waupun still trailing now 3-0. Back after this on the Source.
Real quick before Jeff puts the advertisements on, Michaela Herman, good job with that run, Coda. Woohoo! So, advertisement time for the people who help sponsor this tournament.
With 90 pitches.
Yeah, Cole Hickam, the new pitcher for post 210, leaving his position over at first base. On the mound right now, right-handed pitcher. He'll be facing Will Kubany, getting his first at-bat of the ball game. This pitch into him is fouled back. Count is now 1-1. 3-0 the lead for Antigo, post 3 in this third-place game in the Division II Central Plains American Legion Baseball Tournament. I think Waupun did a pretty good job hosting this. You can't help it with the rain here, but they did a good job getting all the games they could in. Probably the right decision by the teams from out of state that decided not to play in the third and fourth place games. This is poked right over towards Austin Weiss, who hauls it in the line drive right at him off the bat of Kubani. So one down, and now Luke Pecor, the catcher, in the game now for post 3. And a called strike on the first pitch in to him from Cole Hicken. And Viroqua and Kaukauna, both undefeated in their pools. Everybody else in Pool A, Kaukauna was 3-0 in the Pool A. Sir Henderson, Minnesota, along with Waupun and Daly City, North Dakota, all went 1-2. But with the tiebreaker system, Waupun got the second seed. And for pool number B, it was our letter B, it was Viroqua, 3-0 in their pool. Looking pretty strong. A couple of real good teams will be going at in the championship. This one is hitting high in the air and out of play over on the third base side. Yeah, they are. They are the champs in the state for their divisions. Viroqua, we got to see them up and close and personal, and they knocked them Waupun out of the Class A tournament up in Denmark this last week, and Kaukauna wins the Double A tournament. They did that up in Antigo. Antigo was the second place team in Double A. Slow little roll over to Fromholz at third base A tournament. Time to get the out. Nice job. That's what you ask from a third baseman. Charge those short balls and to throw it to first on the run. That's exactly what Tyler Fromholz did. So 2 up and 2 down, and that will bring up Dakota. He walked and then scored one of those 2 runs in the 4th inning for Antigo, leading now 3-0. 2 down, nobody on. I guess that's right. Kind of validates what they did in the state tournaments for both of these teams, being state champions. People kind of had Denmark as the favorite up at Denmark for the Class A championship, but Viroqua won that championship game after knocking off Waupun in the semifinal game, knocked off Denmark by a score of 4-2. Nice team, and they can put some runs on the board. Definitely some good hitters out there, some nice long ball hitters that they have for Viroqua. There's a chopper over towards second base. Charging in, he is Austin Weiss, and just kind of pushes it over towards first. Couldn't get it in his hand cleanly, just kind of shoved it over the like long ball hitters that they have for Viroqua. There's a chopper over towards second base. Charging in, he is Austin Weiss, and just kind of pushes it over.
Cole Hicken coming in relief, 3 up, 3 down. Waupun's still down 3-0. Hopefully we can get some base hits before we get 2 outs in the next couple innings. Close game still have a chance. No lead is safe, as Waupun can attest to that. They were up 4-0 over LeSueur Henderson in the 9 o'clock game yesterday, and we were up 4-1 over Kaukauna. Also, Corey Buckholz, how come Denmark did not come? Oh, that's the reason why, Corey, is Denmark knew that Waupun was hosting, and Viroqua was the champion. So they said, well, we already got 2 Class A teams there, and plus Denmark, they were getting ready for in there, and it's a big football school over there, Denmark Vikings. So the thing is they decided not to come so that they could get ready for the fall season. So that's why they didn't come. Also, we have Shania Heiss. She was cheering on. I believe it was Luke Pecor when he was up to the plate. So sorry that's a little delayed. But bottom line, and Antigo fans, Waupun fans appreciate the communications and so forth. Once again, I'll bring it back to the buttery smooth voice of Steve Winters McCool.
Pitcher in the ball game for post 210 in. Still a doable thing. You're only down by 3 runs. You got a couple innings yet to, with the bats in your hand, to get back in this ball game. See if you can do what other teams did to them yesterday and come from behind and late in the ball game to win the game. If you're a Waupun Post 210 fan, the Antigo people have said, we're just fine right where we're at. It's just hit high in the air, and it's going to make its way out of play over on the third base side. 3-1 the count. Now to Waupun's Cole Hicken, Wyatt Paul awaiting on deck, and Evan Sauer in the hole. If they stay true to, I do see Wyatt out there on the on-deck circle. Comes a 3-1 pitch, a sharply hit ball, and that is a fair ball picked up by the third baseman. Throw to third and not in time, but just did a good job knocking that down on a ball that went right over the top of the bag. And a circle. Comes a 3-1 pitch, a sharply hit ball, and that is a fair ball picked up by the third baseman. Throw to third and not in time, but just did win the game. And Evan Sauer awaits on deck. Guys getting their first look at bat, batting against Eli Fleischman, who came in last inning. This pitch misses into Wyatt. 1-0 the count. And the ball hit out towards right field. That's going to drop in front of the right fielder, Orgeman. Or I should say Gray, not out there anymore. So that's a new right fielder, and that is actually number 7, Will Kubany out there that hauled it in. So I can see Mr. Gray's right in line with him. He's the first baseman now from where I'm sitting, so can't miss the big fella out there. Runners at first and second base. Back-to-back hits for post 210. Make him some noise here in the inning. And up to bat right now for Waupun. His first at bat of the ball game, Jesse Steinbach. Right-handed hitter. We'd like to make the most of his first appearance in the game right now, especially in a crucial time. Called strike in the next pitch into him. Next pitch, a little behind on that one, and hits it on the ground over on the first base side foul. So nobody out for post 210. The runners at first and second. Big opportunity here for post 210. Maybe get one on the board. This pitch is going to miss off the plate on the fastball from Fleischman. Yeah, good job by Derek Stanke and the whole crew that put together this Central Plains tournament. Something they didn't know about till a few months ago. And going down looking is Steinbach. And that'll bring up Austin Weiss. Huge undertaking. We've got teams coming from all over the place. You got to make sure you got those hotel rooms secured at the 2 hotels we have in Waupun. So they have those blocked out for the teams when they come in. Makes things pretty easy. The hotel's very close to the field here. Called strike on the first pitch into Austin. And the whole crew that works in the concessions area. This one's a head out towards right field giving chase. Is Kubany, a diving attempt, and they say he caught the ball out there, and works in the concessions area. This one's a head out towards right field giving chase. Is Kubany, a diving attempt, and they say he caught the ball out there, and he did bring it in. Yeah, again, this flat out, full out ESPN type dive out there. Making the most of his time out in right field. Nice catch by Will Kubany. So 2 down, runners at the corners for Waupun. And runner goes. Wyatt Paul finds himself over at second base. Next pitch into Ferris, a called strike. Puts the count at 1-1. Yeah, concessions area, the people that sold the beer over there, all the volunteers that helped out to make this possible. That's where moms and dads come in. A real nice tournament here. Waupun always does a good job, and that's why they keep on asking them too, because they know they can handle that, and they got the facilities for it. A great field. They can take a lot of rain. I think you play someplace else that has real dirt and real grass in the infield, you probably wouldn't have been playing and getting this tournament in. Swing and a miss to Ferris in the next pitch. Puts the count at 3-2. The field drains really well here, and I don't know how soggy it is on the outfield, but handles rain, and going down looking is Trent Ferris for out number 3. Waupun strands a couple, comes up with nothing, and after 5.5 innings, Waupun trailing 3-0 to Antigo post 3. And I'll be back with the bottom half of inning number 6 right after this on The Source.
So right after Waupun gets 2 runners on, they're not able to push them across. And no runs across for Waupun. They're down 3-0 going in the bottom of the 6th. So, anyway, we got Kaukauna and Viroqua coming up after this. Kaukauna is going to be the home team of that game. We just got notified the last half inning. David Garrettson, the tournament director, yelling it upstairs. He had some people rooting for Trista Steinbach was rooting for her son Jesse when he came in to pinch hit for Evan Sauer. Now we have a different catcher, Tyler Fromholz. Also, nice grab by Koobs, son of Antigo's self-proclaimed all-time greatest athlete, Patrick Kubini. Yeah, Koobs is a good kid there, Patrick. You can be very proud. Also, Sheila Stamcast saying thank you to Jeff, Steve, and Ruiner. I had her daughter Kenna in class. She's now going to school to be a nurse. Back to the smooth voice of Steve Winters McCool.
We are back now at the Gus. Pond comes up empty, squandering a couple base runners out there and still have not got on the board yet. I think Jeff's got my new radio name. If I got to kind of stick with Winterhack, but if we ever move out of the area, I'm going to go to that Steve Winters McCool because it kind of goes together. Winters, cool, Winter. So maybe we'll go with that. Just what you want to hear, and that's just what they want out of a man of my age. 3-0 pitch, and next pitch is right down Main Street for a called strike. Puts the count at 3-1. I thank all our listeners for kind of hanging with us during the Legion tournament, all the sports that we do throughout the year. Really appreciate you being out there, and that's why we do it. And that's why I do it, is to get on the air and some of the people that can't make it to games, physically can't make it to games, people working, and that's what it's all about for us to get these games on the air. Ball hit out towards right field, giving chase. He is Steinbach out there, and the ball's going to land. And they're going to haul it in, finally get it into the infield after a leadoff double by Austin Schettelbauer. A few parents that came up to me and said that grandfather for one of the players is in the nursing home, can't get to the games, and used to always go to the games, and that's what it's all about. That's the main reason I love doing these games on the radio for people like that just can't get there. And I remember my dad, when he used to drive truck listening to games in his radio, and to try to stay within the listening area, and when I was playing in high school sports, and he'd always listen in there, but sometimes he'd go out of the area in our coverage area, and those are the people, just trying to get it out to the people that are working right now and to the people that are just unable to get down to the baseball diamond. This is not a Sunday, even though it feels like it for us. This is an actual work day, so people are actually working out there today. And seeing some of the grandparents even out in the crowd listening on the radio right now, up in the bleachers. One's going to get up to bat is Elliot Orgeman. Base hit, struck out, got on with an error, scored twice in the ballgame. He's crossed home plate for 2 of those runs. Here's a little chopper up the middle. It'll be a tough chance here for Braden Sanders. So tough it went underneath his glove, and the run's going to come in. Yeah, again, Sanders with the ball going underneath his glove. It would have been a tough chance. Those choppers over there, and safe over at first base is Elliot Orgeman. And it does bring in another run, makes the score now 4-0 in favor of Antigo Post 3. Just another insurance run as we getting down for Waupun, only having one more chance at top of the 7th inning coming up. Runner goes. This is hit out towards right center field, and that's going to drop in for another base hit. It's going to be a throw over to second base, and runner safe over there, so a double for Neil Brettel. Nice hit ball, and those balls kind of just, I think you can see the outfielders are thinking they're going to kind of roll or hit bounce, past there, but they just kind of check up right there with the wet grass, and runners now at second and third base. Ooh, this one well over the top of the batter's head, and another run's going to come in. It'll be a play at the plate and out at home plate. One good thing happening here in the inning for Waupun. Post 210 gets back to the backstop. Fromholtz scampers back to the backstop and gets it back to Cole Hicken, and they tag the runner out at home plate. Nice job on the hustle by Post 210 on that one. Brettel heads over to third base. And they're going to get a run in as this one's hit out towards right center field. And like I said, they keep on waiting to kind of playing the ball like it's going to go for a little further back, and it just stops where it's at out there because it is wet out there. So an RBI single for Eli Fleischman. Yeah, every at bat, 3 singles, 3 RBIs in the game. So the 5 runs on the board for Post 3 out of Antigo. Nice game for him. So 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the fourth, now 2 runs here in the 6th inning. Nice insurance runs here for Post 3 out of Antigo. Called strike on the inside part of the plate with Connor Coles up to bat. Got on one of the air back in the 3rd inning. He's flown out. He's also walked in the ball game. He's been on base a couple times. This one's going to miss high and inside. Puts the count at 1-1. 1 down with a runner at first. 2 runs in. Four base hits in the ball game, or in this inning, I should say. And this one plunks. Mr. Cole's hit by a pitch. So that stops the hit streak. Hitting the batter and sending him over to first base. The runner's now at first and second base. Rich Osterhaus listening right now from Finishing Touches by Rich. Rich wanted my help earlier today to unload some cabinets out of a truck with that mystery back injury of his, but not available. So Rich, do a good job over there. You got a lot of great product for people to choose from with the flooring that you got over there. Luxury vinyl plank and tile. Luxury vinyl plank has over 100 styles and colors to choose from. And great quality stuff at the best prices you're going to find anywhere. Don't go to the big box stores looking for flooring, whether it's carpeting, luxury vinyl tile and plank. Also, and some hardwood floor there. You can design your cabinets, your countertops. It's all at Finishing Touches by Rich. My buddy over there, Rich Osterhaus. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, called strike into Mason Gray. Count is now 1-2. I seem to always be busy when he calls me and asks for a little bit of help. Can't deny that. He knows I'm here doing the radios, listening to us right now, so he knows I'm working. So the radio comes before. I try to help when I can. Count is now 2-2 to Gray. Fastball, and that's going to be smoked up the middle off the bat of Gray. Getting his first hit. And that's going to score a run, so gets himself an RBI single. Things just kind of... Fastball, and that's going to be smoked up the middle off the bat of Gray. Getting his first hit. And that's going to score a run, so gets himself an RBI single. Was getting into that last day of the tournament, so it's kind of get worn down. You had to give up 3 of your weekends for this. Just have a little bit of summer left before you go off to your work or you go off to college. You guys going back to high school. And Kubani fouls that one out of play over on the first base side. So big commitment. You got to love your baseball. You've been playing high school ball, going right into Legion ball, taking up most of your summer. Next pitch is going to miss inside. And Will with that great catch right at the right field line, just diving for it and hauling it in. Pokes one over towards right field. And that is out of play over on the right field side. 2-2 the count to Kubani. Runners at first and second. 3 runs in the inning. 6-0 in favor of Antigo. This one's down to the dirt and blocked by Tyler Fromholtz. Don't forget, if you want to come watch some great baseball, come and watch the Central Plains Championship game being played right after this on this diamond. Hard hit ball smacked out to some left field between short and third. And that is going to score another run for Antigo. Racking them up here in this bottom of the 6th inning. So an RBI single for Kubani. Runners now at first and second base, but now 4 runs in the inning. Makes the game 7-0. Waupun will have one more crack at it, but making everything difficult as every run keeps on coming in here. Now 7-0 in favor of Antigo. Great finish to the season for them. Like I said, they were about a 500 club when they played in high school ball. They looked that up on Wis Sports, and just a little over a 500 record coming into the tournament in Legion ball. They were 13-12 coming into this. But did a great job on the tournament they hosted at the state tournament up in Antigo, and he finished second to the team that's in the championship game, Kaukauna, and a walk issued to Luke Pecor. Now bases are loaded for Antigo. Dane Cornelius coming up for the first time in the ball game, a right-handed hitter. This is chopped over towards third base, picked up. They're going to go for the force out at home. Thought about a double play, but no chance for that, so they decided not to throw it over to first base. Waupun puts 2 outs on the board now, but that brings up the top of the order with bases still loaded for Antigo. And Austin Schettelbauer steps to the plate again for his second at bat here as they started in the top of the order to start things out here, and it's been going right through the order, and there's the second at bat of the inning. One and one the count to Austin. Couple base hits. He had that double back earlier in this inning and also scored. And hits us out deep out to right center field, and that's going to drop in, score at least a couple runs. Waupun in danger of this game being done after 6 innings. So it's now 9-0 in favor of Antigo. Another big fella coming up to the plate. Number 30 at his first at bat, Caleb Kautza. With 2 down, and a chance to maybe end the game. 9-0 with runners at second and third base. 6 runs come in the inning, and runner decided not to score from third base. Yeah, closer game you do that, you definitely give it a try, but they failed once at that with a good job by Tyler Fromholtz getting back there to get the ball and getting it over to Cole Hicken to get the out at home plate. Antigo putting the game away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Striking to Kautz on the next pitch in, puts the count at 1-2. Pitch is going to miss outside. Runners will stay right where they're at as the ball hits off the body of Fromm Holtz and shoots out to the right. We're just standing pat right now. 2-2 the count into Kautza. Catches the outside part of the plate, and going down looking is Kautza. Not before the damage is done. 6 runs come in. It's now 9-0 in favor of Antigo, and Waupun with one more chance here. Top of the 7th coming your way right after this on the Source. Here we go, top of the 7th inning. Waupun trailing now 9-0, giving up 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. In the last game of the season, up to bat now for post 10, Mason Holtz getting his first action of the ball game.
Just a reminder out there that we will have interviews with the winning team after this, so please make sure that you stay on the live stream here to check out that interview by Jeff
Taves. A glimmer of
Taves.
hope when they went into that bottom of the 6th, but it's been a bad inning for them. They gave up 7 to Kaukauna in the bottom of the 6th yesterday in that game that could have got them into the championship game. If they would have won it, they would have been in the championship game today. They gave up 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning and ended up losing that game 8-4. Chopper over towards the shortstop. He picks it up, throws it to first in time over to Gray at first base. Not an easy one. Had to kind of short hop the ball that was hit to him. Good job by Connor Coles over there. Smothered it and got it over to first in time. So 1 down. Waupun just a couple outs left in their season with Jaden White maybe getting his last at bat as a Waupun player. Coming back to play that extra year. He's young enough to play and was there for the season between working with Torres Tree Service and playing ball. He had a pretty busy summer. We'll thank him for coming back. And why not end your career with a base hit for Jaden White? Nice job, Jaden. Second hit, 2 for 4 game for him, but he had a nice return. Good job coming back, and not always easy after taking off, actually playing baseball for a year and coming and trying to earn a spot against guys that have been playing ball all the way through from high school. Did a good job, and also thanks to Braden Sanders for coming back and playing another year. Great moments for him. He had 5 really good innings against Kaukauna yesterday, and just the wheels fell off in that bottom of the 6th inning. It's been fun to watch him come back. Some nice plays over at shortstop. Had some great hitting games. Always rock solid on the mound for you. Gives you some great innings. And wish him luck in his future. And thanks for wearing that Waupun jersey with pride over these last seasons. Got thrust into duty back in 2018 when Reese Holman went down with that injury in that sectional championship game. Put him out at shortstop and right away came out there and did some great things. Some great pitching moments that year, too. So, a couple of guys we're going to miss. Caden and Jaden. And Braden, I should say. Caden, Jaden, Braden. Everybody have the rhyming names, but going to miss those guys. They gave some another extra year to the Legion program. Not everybody wants to do that. It's a big commitment to do it, especially if you're going off to college and you want to have some spending money when you go back for the next your second year of college. You definitely understand after being there 1 year, you need to make some money to have some money to spend there. And a called strike. A disappointing last at bat there for Braden Sanders. He goes down looking. So 2 down with that runner over at second base, White over there. And Noah Garrettson steps to the plate. They say a lot of the guys that are just graduated here from Waupun, there's a lot of them that are going to be eligible to come back. They're young enough to play. So, most of them will be eligible to play. So we'll see who all decides to come back coming up next summer. Just getting out of the way is Garrettson. 1-1 the count. The pitch from Fleischman, and this is popped in the air, and this should do it. Shortstop Elliot Orgeman gets underneath and hauls it in for the out. And Waupun's season is over, finishing 4th place in the Division II Central Plains tournament and losing to a very good Antigo team by a score of 9-0. I'm going to take a break, come back, and wrap things up in just a few minutes. It's American Legion Post 210 baseball on the Source.
Yeah, he goes, go say hi to your Jose.
Can you hear me, Jeff? Jeff, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Jeff, can you hear me?
Neil and Eli.
Can you hear me? Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? All right, got it. All right.
Good job.
Okay, just make sure you guys look at the camera up there by Jeff when he's ready to go.
All right, we got the third place team, the Antigo Typhoon. We'll start things off with the starting pitcher, Neil Brettel, who had also 3 hits this game, and he's 10 for 13 on the tournament. So, Neil, let's give us a little insight on, your success and stuff in this tournament.
Well, I just been hitting it where it's pitched, taking the balls that are outer half to right and then inner half balls pulling and putting them in play, and they've been falling for me, so it's awesome. We had a good run there, and I want to thank my teammates. I mean, our last game, we had a really fun time out there, and you think of a better way to end it off. It was awesome. I mean, there we go.
Well, I was going to ask you about pitching, too. You had four innings and only allowed, didn't allow any runs. So anything on that?
I mean, I was feeling it today, I guess. I mean, I wish I could have went longer. My arm was getting a little tired. But, yeah, I just threw it down there, made him hit the ball, and I guess things worked out in my favor.
I also want to know, how long have you thrown that knuckleball?
I've had it for, I don't know, 3-4 years, and I just started throwing it, and I was as a joke, and then I started landing it for strikes, and then I took it to the field, and.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, now the guy for the save, number 17, Eli Fleischman, who also got on base 3 times, 2 hits and a ribby. Anything you want to say, Eli?
Coming into this game, I knew it was my last one, so I want to make the best of it.
All right, and then Austin. The thing is what I have down besides your 3 hits and 2 RBIs is Waupun kept you busy today. 7 putouts out there in center field. Anything you got to say for the Antigo fans or your teammates?
I just got to thank my teammates. They've been awesome throughout the whole years we've been playing together, and it's just fun. Challenging conditions with the rain, the wind, and the 3-4 inches of water standing out in the outfield. So it's challenging.
All right, and then finishing things out with the E, Elliot Ogerman. He had 2 hits and a ribby. Anything you want to add to the conversation?
Well, we came to the tournament and we just played ball how we always have played. And I knew it was my last game coming in, and me and these 2 guys, we've been playing together for about 15 years, me and Neil. So it was fun to come out and win it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got 2 boys myself, and they always, anytime they get together with their friends, what's the first thing they talk about is the Legion baseball memories. So I want to thank you guys for coming in and representing the Antigo Typhoon. Big hand for the 3rd place finishers. Post 3, Antigo Typhoon. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to Antigo, and a great interview there. Good job by the boys, representing their community very well. So a huge shout out again, as they did a good job of making sure that they took care of business here as the AA runner-ups, finishing their season with a win here at the Gus in Waupun. We will be back for the championship game, and I want to thank you all for watching the live stream, and also for Steve Winterhack for broadcasting over the live stream, and for Jeff Taves going down and doing the interviews and making the announcements throughout the game. So again, congratulations to Antigo for their 3rd place finish here at the Central Plains Division II National Tournament. Take care, God bless, and